Hi, my name is Nathan Clark.
And my name's Jamie Clark. And you may know our team from...
Go to NathanClarkTeam.com and get top dollar for your home.
We've been one of the top real estate brokerages in Rhode Island for the past 11 years now.
And it's been about 20 years we've been selling real estate, but real estate's not our only passion. If you're looking for information about the technical side of real estate, this probably is not the podcast for you.
But we will be talking a little bit about real estate.
But if you're interested in entrepreneurship, building businesses, marketing ideas, this is the podcast for you. Hey, it's Nathan Clark with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and we're doing another episode of the real estate show, Not About Real Estate. Mm-hmm. And welcome to the show, Jamie. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic.
So what do we got on the agenda for today?
So we're going to talk about, experiences, and we're going to touch into the expertise part of it as well.
Awesome.
So I was figuring that we could kick off since summer is coming, it's spring. I always get excited. The little buds on the trees and the leaves start blooming. It's always like after that first rainstorm, you walk outside and it's like, bam, oh, there's leaves on the trees. That's cool. So I'm excited, but I figured we could talk about where we like to go during the summer. Beaches.
Well, the summer's coming, but we still got spring. And so what happens in the springtime, my favorite time of the season, is it's mud season. And so we get to go ATV riding, side-by-side riding. That's coming up in a couple weeks. In West Virginia. Yeah. So we head out to the Hatfield-McCoy trails. So we'll have to take some photos and share that with our viewers here so they can see that on the video.
Maybe take a quick video clip, too, in the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Yes, yeah. Blue Ridge, I think, is North Carolina, but does that go through West Virginia, too?
I'm not sure. We'll have to fact check that.
They're blue, and they are ridges. So
beautiful.
Maybe.
All I know is it's absolutely beautiful, and I love going there.
Yeah, we have a great time. We go out there. They have wild horses that you can go up to. And we go riding pretty long. We go probably a couple 100 miles while we're out there. Yeah. So it's always a great time.
Yep.
So we got that during the mud season.
Well, actually, Ben was just asking, Mommy, because he's coming down with us, so he's never actually been to the trip that we've gone to previously for West Virginia. And he's like, is Daddy going to be riding all year long? All day long? And I said, yep. He goes, all day? I said, all day. So he's excited about it.
Right. Well, one of the things that we have a good time with, too, in the summer is the beaches.
Oh, yeah.
Which leads us to our guest that we're going to have the show today.
Right.
Joe Padula, the VP of Dell's Lemonade. So he's going to join us a little later. We're going to have a great time with that. We're going to be able to answer a lot of questions. We love to have other entrepreneur businesses, especially focused around Rhode Island.
Yeah.
And what's a better staple than Dell's Lemonade?
Right.
I know you love Dell's. It was
your
idea.
I'm like almost their number one fan, but pretty much, I'm up there. I'm on the list.
Yes.
I have a T-shirt. I'm starting with that.
So you had some questions. What questions can you answer for today's show?
What, as far as Dell's or talking about what we like?
Well, whatever way you want to talk about.
Yeah, so I figured we'd talk about beaches and, Mesquamaket and where we love to go.
Oh, you love the beach.
I do.
I'm not a big fan of the beach.
We go down. We did a week last year at the beach house.
Oh, yeah, the beach house. Yeah, I like being down there. The beach just gets boring after a while.
Right.
It's waves and sand.
You're not much of a sunbather, that's why.
Well, maybe not. I don't know. There's other things to do. What do you like about the beach?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I love seeing Ben just play in the sand. He's always loved the beach ever since we brought him, since he was just like a little head. So every time he has amazing energy. I can't believe it. Just back and forth. He'll go all day long, all day, and then he still has energy. So
yeah, well, that's what's good about being a little kid. You always have tons of energy. What beach do you like the most?
Oh, I'd definitely say Mesquamaket.
Why?
Just because there's a lot to do for everybody. I've been going there with my mom and my auntie and my cousins ever since I was a little girl. We used to go camping down at Burlingame Campground, and we'd say, we're going to go to the beach day, make it a beach day, so we'd all get excited. At the time, they used to have a water whiz across the street.
Yeah, they just closed last year, didn't they?
Was it?
Are they still there? No, I think they closed last year.
I don't know, but we used to love going to that, and then our parents would stay over at the Windjammer. We'd come back, we'd get fake tattoos and stuff, and I don't know. It's just I have really fond memories as a child going there.
Of all the beaches, I like that beach because they have so much to do around there.
Yeah.
You have, like you said, the Windjammer.
Right.
They have games to play, so it's not just like you go to Scarborough and it's kind of just sit on the beach.
Right.
They have a picnic area so you can play ball and stuff like that. But yeah, we take for granted.
The carousel.
Yeah, you get the carousel.
I think it's one of the oldest carousels aside from the one on Martha's Vineyard.
They have we take for granted the beaches that we have in Rhode Island.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
we have a lot of nice beaches, and not everybody gets to be able to see such beautiful things. Even I'm partial, but I like our beaches even better than Massachusetts. Massachusetts has a lot of stones in their beaches. We have very nice sand, I find, in our beaches. So it's always a nice thing. And I think especially after such a long COVID. And did we go to the beach last year? Steph, did you go to the beach last year? No. Steph is behind the camera right now.
We did a little bit, but that was when we had our trip to Block Island too.
Yes, so not too much beach time. So. But I enjoyed it. We went down to Florida.
Yes.
We checked that out down there.
We had beach time down there, which was awesome.
Yeah, I like the beach in Florida. I like the beach in Florida because, like Misquamicut, it's things to do around. You can walk and get a burger or a beer or something like that.
Oh, where we go down to, my parents live in Fort Myers, so there's a beach. Is it considered Fort Myers Beach or? Yeah,
Fort Myers Beach.
Yeah,
it's actually Fort Myers, then you have Fort Myers Beach. It's 2 different towns or cities.
Yeah, it's awesome. But COVID really wasn't affecting it down there too much. I think that's what I really liked about it when we went down there. There was that sense of normalcy. I don't know if you remember when we took a walk out to the pier and we came back and people were just like dancing and singing and there was a live band and we all kind of just took a seat and just enjoyed it just to see like
Well, we travel a lot even during COVID.
Yeah.
We did travel a lot with it.
To Tennessee.
Went to Tennessee. So it's funny, different parts of the country as we went from, I didn't head out to California, but from Tennessee, Texas, Florida, over the last 12 months is how different even pockets of each state are more open than not. Florida was completely wide open.
Yeah, Tennessee was open too.
Yeah, Tennessee was open pretty quick, and I think that's why we head down there. We weren't too patient being stuck inside. And so we headed to Tennessee.
Well, you said, I can't do this anymore. I got to get out of this house. Let's go.
Yeah. So, but Tennessee was pretty wide open. But when we went to Tennessee last year, they were just coming back online.
Yeah.
They shut down for a week or two, and then they just went back up, opened everything back up. So
yeah,
we were able to check that out.
When we went to the restaurant, it was their very first day open. So it was
Do you remember what restaurant that was?
It was like a Western?
Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah. Oh, was it? Okay.
There's
so it's like a Western restaurant.
Texas Roadhouse.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like the restaurants have all forgotten how to be restaurants.
You mean service?
Service is just going down the tube.
Here's your forks.
Yeah, throwing things at you when you're getting there. And I don't know if it's they're understaffed, the tips are just so low, or
people are tired, cranky, just sick of it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's an excuse, or if you're in the business of getting tips, why would you be bad at it?
Oh, but that
maybe
could
the people
be like
that
a wormhole. It's a lot of questions.
But I've definitely noticed that. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that the level of service at a lot of restaurants, not all restaurants, so don't get offended if you're watching this. But I've noticed at a lot of restaurants, it just seems to be the touch is just not there anymore.
Right.
With it. So
yeah.
Hopefully, but I'm noticing things are opening back up. So I think it's gonna be a great summer.
Right.
And it'd be a great season. We've had great weather.
Yeah.
Already. So I'm looking forward to all those things out there.
Yep. I'm trying not to get ahead of myself and plant my stuff too soon, because then it's like that delicate balance of like getting excited, wanting like spring is here, get all your flowers going, and then all of a sudden we get a freeze and it's just like, no. So I'm doing good at like controlling myself with buying the potted plants and whatnot.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, one of the questions that I get every year is, what's a good time of season to sell my house?
Seasonality. Is that real?
Seasonality? No. That's something, I think it's more of a herd mentality, and I'm not talking COVID-19 herd mentality.
Are you talking about herd mentality amongst peers in the industry?
No. I'm just saying most people just think their houses sell more in the spring than they sell in the winter. And I think that's just been something, the proven facts, you can look at the numbers, things do slow down, but you're talking maybe instead of 1,000 houses sold this month, 900 sold.
Okay.
So houses still sell all year round. Actually, the slowest month many times can be July.
Yes.
Because a lot of people go on vacation. So, but I think what I mean by herd mentality is most people think that the busier time of year is the springtime.
Right.
So everybody waits till the springtime. So that definitely throws the numbers off.
Right.
And every year we see a lack of inventory, January, February, March. And then most people put their house on the market March, April. And also you see a big influx. But why that's not always the best choice for sellers is supply and demand, right?
Right. If you're the first one to go on the market. I know that over the, 15 years that we've been doing it, I've been hearing you say it ever since I was, used to be right outside your office, the sooner you get your home on the market, the better, because what's going to happen is as spring continues, all the other sellers are just going to start jumping on the bandwagon, and then you're going to be in that market all flushed out with them. So you'll stand out better if you get the sooner.
People buy houses 365 days a year. We've sold houses on Christmas, 4th of July, every single month, every single day. Houses sell. So people always need to buy a house, but if there's no houses to buy, that's what you kind of run into these markets that we're in right now with lack of supply. In January there was even less houses. So like you were saying, if you wait till everybody else put their house on the market,
right,
then you don't stand out as much.
No.
But if somebody really needs to make a move, which they do, they always say that. So it goes back to what are we saying? Is there seasonality? I think the seasonality, the large part of it, what you see in the numbers, is controlled by people's herd mentality. Is everybody like, and I think it has a lot to do with just how people feel. Well, middle of January, they don't feel like putting the house on the market.
Exactly. Or if there's a lot of snow, I mean, I know personally, I'm not going to want to buy a house because when you do your home inspection, you can't get outside if there's a lot of snow to see those details. And I just personally, I wouldn't want to do it. And when it's cold, nobody wants to go out. And especially with this previous year, just some of the, the fears that we had to deal with and try to help ease with the clients is, people coming into your house. Do they have COVID? What are they going to be touching? What are they going to be doing? I know that we made up packets for the clients to go showing, and then, we suited what the clients' needs were. But do you think it's going to be like that again, carrying into the summer of 2021?
No, I think people are done with COVID.
Yeah.
The vast majority of people. I think the people that are scared of it, they're just not going to do anything ever.
Yeah.
And I think the people that are out are kind of, I don't think you see people that are that afraid of it. They're just not going out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the people that are, you're not seeing the people go like, I'm going to go look at houses. I'm going to put my house on the market that are afraid of COVID. They're just,
right.
They've either had it, they've had their vaccine, and now they're moving on. The people that haven't had their vaccine have life-threatening diseases that this really affect. They're not.
Right.
They shouldn't.
Makes common sense. Don't go
they're
out.
just not going out there. So, as far as we're concerned, we give them the safety protocols to be able to protect themselves and the buyers and the sellers as much as you can. But there's nothing that's 100% proof of going to avoid getting this. It's going to spread the way it is. But I think they've been doing a good job as far as getting the vaccine out there. More and more people are vaccinated. Our guests come on, they're vaccinated. So, certainly more and more people are getting that.
Yeah.
And then lastly, it'd be the younger crowd that has a very small, minute chance of dying from this that'll get it. So they're handling it out the right way. But I want to talk back to what you were saying, actually. Is you said this yourself. So it's your personal view.
Yes, I wanted to play the other side of what you're saying.
Yeah.
So typically what I tell people is, should I put my house on the market?
I was talking about the houses on the market. But.
Yeah. When to put them on, you're saying?
Well, no, you said earlier, well, I personally wouldn't do it. And I think that's the problem. How most people think is I personally wouldn't do it, but they don't understand.
But that doesn't mean everybody.
Some people have to make a move. People don't realize that there's other people that have to move, and they have reasons why they have to move. They got job relocation, death, divorce, foreclosure. They have to move. Mm-hmm. And, sometimes we'll just be in our corner of the world, be like, well, I would never do it in January because I don't like the snow.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that sets the tone for everybody.
Well, I think a lot of people think that way. Yeah. So I think it goes to a good point of that's how most people think. And so they don't want to do it, but they miss out on a large pool of people that really are motivated. Because if you're putting a house on the market in the winter, if you're looking to buy a house in the winter, you're motivated.
Oh, of course.
Right. You get a lot more tire kickers in the spring. I'm going to try to get $1 million for my house that's worth $500,000. If I get it, I get it.
It's a Sunday.
I don't really need to sell. Those type of sellers that that love to tell everybody they don't really need to sell, and then they wonder why they don't really sell.
Yeah.
Right? So
But I was going to go back to that question of seasonality because it seems to March comes around. It seems like people are getting pretty itchy. They know that they're going to be getting tax returns, and they can use that for their deposit. So then they say that could be the trend. And then usually between now and the end of June, just before July, it's, busy. July comes, 4th of July comes up dead for about 2 weeks. And then you see that you have that last push of the very, mid-July to August to get their home sold because they want to get their home, sell their home and buy another home before the kids go back to school.
Yeah, so you see if any of the seasonality trend is the biggest, would be September, October.
Okay.
October, especially, you start seeing things get the last push before November, December. Where you do see things slow down is after Thanksgiving.
Right.
Until about January 1st.
Yeah.
So the two slowest months was basically December. It's December and July out of the year. July because people are on vacation.
And plus, people, their focus changes. The holidays are coming. There's so many holiday parties with companies, families, friends. So they're kind of getting in the mode of Christmas and celebrating and stuff. So I guess if there's got to be a break sometime, that's a good time to break.
Yeah, but once again, there's people that if you're on the market during those times, you're very motivated. You want to buy, you want to sell.
Yeah, which we do have.
Right. People don't realize half the houses that hit the market still don't sell. Even in this market right now, we've seen 50% expired. Meaning houses came on the market, they never sold, and they're off the market.
Now, what would you say the number one reason homes are expired?
The marketing. The marketing of the house is.
Would you say pricing as well?
Yeah, pricing has a huge factor on pricing. Has a huge factor on it, but it's the marketing. People don't realize when you're hiring a real estate agent, you're hiring someone to market your property. They should probably know something about marketing.
So give me a good example of marketing and then a poor example of marketing that you've seen.
Pretty much long descriptions on MLS about every, I describe it as kind of like the for sale by owner ad. Like if I asked a consumer that doesn't sell real estate, that's probably sold 1 or 2 houses, to describe the house, they're going to make you a laundry list of words describing every nail and screw that they've put in the house.
So try to sell it.
By selling it with words of like a new boiler, a brand new leach field in the septic system, which are benefits to them that they put in there. But most people, when they're buying a house, don't know or don't see the value with that in there. And we try too hard to sell houses with the words we use in an ad that we think we can write some grand description about the property and someone's just going to read the description, write a check and mail it in and buy it. And you can't sell big ticket items in a description online. You can't sell expensive cars, expensive clothes for the most part, or expensive houses, from description of a house.
Well, a lot of people like myself even like to go and touch and see and feel and
So you got to get people into the house. And a lot of people miss that step of really marketing 101 of the idea of the description that you write for a house is the description to get people to call on the house.
A funny one I saw a description is this cream puff and dot, 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 dot. It's like, what? I love it. Just the descriptive words that some agents
that's
use.
right. So a lot of times people, when they have a long ramble of description words on a house, what they're actually doing is turning buyers off. Just using words to describe the view, or words to describe number of bedrooms, for example, saying it's a 2-bedroom house. The fact is it is a 2-bedroom house, but you don't want to really be putting so much emphasis on that because most people are looking for a 3-bedroom house or even, for example, a 4-bedroom house. Most people are looking for a 3-bedroom house, not a 4-bedroom, but I can actually turn people off by saying 4-bedroom house because people hear 4-bedroom house. They go, wow, it's too big. I don't need that.
What about a 3-bedroom home with possible office?
Yes. So
playroom.
That's exactly what, or another office, especially with COVID-19 and people work from home. So other ways to word it, the words that you use to describe a property have a lot of impact versus people calling to see it versus not calling to see it. And more is not always better. And a lot of times that's one of the most common things we see. And the other thing would be the pictures of the house.
Yes.
Pictures are very important.
Boy.
We've seen some funny ones over the years.
Yes. I always say that we should make up a book and stuff just because some of the things that we see, you can't make it up.
Well, Steph, we could probably share some photos. Of some funny photos that we see out there being people putting out that to the public.
Like you'll see like an all-in-one bathroom.
Yeah.
Or like I've seen some funny ones.
Well, I think the biggest one here is you see most people they'll use like their iPhone or something like that to do photos of the house.
Yeah.
And that really limits the lighting and the exposure out there. Remember, you're hiring your real estate agent to market the property. They should know something about marketing.
Right.
It's all good. Most people, they'll just choose their realtor because I like the person.
Or it's cheaper. But we all know what happens when you go with cheaper.
Yeah. Well, that goes over. Now we're going way too much real estate into the show that's not about real estate. Why don't we introduce our guests from Dells? He'll be here.
Joe,
bring on the show. So Joe's going to go over a lot of cool stuff.
Yep.
Great entrepreneurial business in Rhode Island. For those that are watching right now that don't know much about Dells, Dells started back in Italy. And they brought the flavor or the recipe over from Italy to Rhode Island, and it's been a staple of Rhode Island for a long time. And people from around the world actually have been able to have it, but it's really big in Rhode Island, and that's why we wanted to bring Joe on the show. So let's bring him on.
Yeah, thanks. Great. I look forward to it.
Hey, it's Nathan Clark, and I'm with Joe Padula, the Vice President of Dell's Lemonade. Hey, Joe.
Good morning. How are you, Nathan?
I'm doing awesome. And we're joined by my wife, Jamie.
Hello.
How are you guys doing today?
I'm great. I'm excited to be here. Excited that Joe's here.
Yes, it's a great day. We have Dell's Lemonade here. And for people that aren't familiar with what Dell's Lemonade is, people looking at this outside of Rhode Island or New England, Dell's Lemonade's a great beverage. And it's really kind of a staple of Rhode Island. I've had
a fantastic beverage.
Yes, I've had it since we were growing up. I think everybody in Rhode Island's kind of grew up on it. But it's kind of it's a lemonade, slushy type drink.
Correct.
And you guys have been around for how long?
The company was started in 1948.
1948. And you've been with the company for how long, Joe?
Well, you know what? I've started picking up papers in a parking lot when I was 7 years old, and now I'm 72.
And I remember it was probably about the 90s, right? Dell's Lemonade was going to be, I think it was coffee milk or Dell's Lemonade. Yep. What's going to be the official beverage of Rhode Island? And I believe coffee milk took off. Two beverages that people outside of really New England, especially outside of Rhode Island, have no clue.
Yep.
Coffee milk.
But Dell's is I think Dell's is much more popular than coffee milk out there. People have had that forever. We were talking off air, Joe. You tell me you guys were down there in the Olympics.
Olympics in Atlanta for 17, 18 days. It was a tough 17, 18 days of work and weather.
Yeah, it was hot, especially everything was going on.
It was hot,
there.
and there was some excitement down there that unfortunately, happened.
One of the things that we like to talk about on the show here is entrepreneurship and business. And one of the things that really grabbed Jamie's attention and my attention about Dell's was just a fantastic company and a family-owned business. Tell me a little bit about how the company started in Rhode Island.
Bruce's dad, Angelo DeLucia, started the company in Rhode Island in 1948 and started out with one building with a 60-watt light bulb in it and a window that was cut out and held up by a hook. And then eventually he started using mobile units, as he'd like to call them, not trucks, mobile units. And he would get the truck, Table Talk pie trucks, the old 1950 Table Talk pie trucks. And he would put an arrow on the driver's side going around the truck to the passenger side, where he would cut a window out and put a serving window in there so that the kids or adults could come up to the truck and buy a Dell's out of the truck. And that's how we started with the one truck to, up to like 50 of them. At one point, we had quite a few trucks. And then we started opening franchises. And when we started opening franchises, naturally, we took a few trucks away from Cranston and put them in Coventry or in East Providence or North Kingston or Warwick Avenue. We have about 5 or 6 company-owned stores in Rhode Island, plus a bunch of other franchisees now in Rhode Island also.
We actually have one on our team, Ray Lyons.
Yes, Ray is on a Dell's franchise, yes.
And that's how we got introduced to Dell. So that's how we were able to hook you guys into the show.
Yeah, he's a great guy, Ray.
Yeah, he is a very good guy.
Yep.
So no, Joe, I have a question for you. Who's more excited, the adults or the kids, when the trucks come by?
That's a good question. I have seen some crazy things with adults.
Yeah, I'm probably one of them.
And, every once in a while, to be honest with you, I'll be in the store itself on Oak Lawn Avenue, and I get, look out, see what's going on, and if anybody needs a helping hand or something, and you get people to say, God, you're still here. I remember when you were like 20 years old and you're still working here. I said, yeah, I'm still working here. Yes. And my kids come here now and, and they get excited. I think it's heavy. The kids really go, especially when you go to a school or something like that, the kids come running.
Yeah.
Joe, now how did you start with Dell's?
I used to live across the street from Dell's on Oak Lawn Avenue. And as a kid, when I was 7, my mother walked me across Oak Lawn Avenue, which there was no traffic at all, hardly. And she asked Mr. DeLucia, Angelo, if he had something that could do to keep me busy for a little bit every day, and all that, because, he likes to do stuff. So he said, yeah, we can put him in the parking lot, pick up papers and, stuff like that. And I said, so that's what I did. And then she would come back over, my mother, and pick me up, bring me back home and that. And I used to get some money for doing that and all the Dells I could drink.
Yeah. That's enough for Ben.
And so, eventually, I just got into where I started working in the store itself at 14 and then started making Dells out of the machines that we use and loading trucks in the store with the Dells that was coming out of the machines. And then I started selling some franchises and started doing some other things. And before you know it, just started keep working. That was it. We worked all winter long in the office planning for next year and the year after. And then in the summer, we put in some long days. Yeah.
Now, Joe, in the lemonade business, is there a lot of competition?
We have some competition. There's a few companies out there that are, that have been out there for a little while, but would
you say that Dells is pretty much dominating?
We do a good job, and I think that the people that have Dells know that we do a good job, because when you see a Dells truck and you see a New England truck and you see a Mr. Lemon truck and you see a line at the Dells truck and there's not a line at the other trucks, you say, obviously Dells is doing something that's right.
Well, I would be in the Dells line, so.
Yeah, we do a good job.
Now, thinking about Dells, I know there's like 2 flavors, but there's more than 2 flavors.
Yes.
Ben loves watermelon.
There's watermelon. I know there's watermelon. There's lemonade, of course.
There's lemon, yeah.
What else?
We have a lemon, watermelon, a peach mango. We have a blueberry. We have a cherry. We have a raspberry. And we have a blood orange. And we also have a grapefruit.
Do you know about any of these flavors?
I knew about the blueberry, strawberry, watermelon.
No strawberry.
Oh, no strawberry.
We had strawberry years ago, but we
did. Yeah.
And the lemon and watermelon, and then the blueberry and the cherry and the grapefruit and the peach mango and the blood orange and the raspberry. The raspberry and the blood orange are something that are relatively new.
Okay,
not too long. And then last year, at the end of the season, we came out with pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
For the the fall.
How did that go over?
For the first time, it went pretty good.
Really?
It went pretty good. We got a lot of good positive reaction to it, and you got to be a pumpkin fan. If you don't eat pumpkin, you're not going to. I'm not a fan of pumpkin. It's a good product.
I like pumpkin pie.
Nathan likes pumpkin.
It was good. It was a good product, and we did do a pretty good job with it. Yeah. Most of our franchises sold some of it, but we only put it out there for that short period of time for that fall season, when pumpkin season and that was it.
Yeah. Now, I know you guys do a lot also with Hasbro's Children's Hospital.
Yes, we do. We do awesome. a good amount with Hasbro Children's Hospital in the summer with the donating of product to them and the kids in the hospital. And if any kind of picnics or whatever they need, Dells, we donate to them.
Funny that you say that, Joe, because for the picnics, for our team and I, because we're advocates for Hasbro, we sign up, and we've actually served your Dells to the children.
There you go.
Yeah, I can remember putting my hand in that very cold freezer the whole time, getting to the bottom of it, digging that stuff out there. So that's
it stays cold too.
Some of the people in the audience here are asking about different ways to mix, or different things that you can mix with Dells. And I'm sure you've heard. Do you have any good recipes for maybe adult cocktail versions of Dells?
There's always something great with Dells besides being by itself. You can add vodka. You can have gin. You can put rum.
Really? I never thought about the gin.
You can put beer, and they call that a shandy.
Yes, yeah. So you guys recently teamed up with
Narragansett.
Yeah,
okay. And we're doing a Dells shandy with them, and we're doing a watermelon, and then I think this year we're doing another new type of multi-pack. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be, but it's a multi-pack of beers, like, say, 4 different types of with Dells involved in it.
And so this was something that started off, it wasn't Italian ice, but it started in Italy, right? Dells.
Yeah, it was back in the 1940s or whatever it was. In Italy, they used to take snow from the mountains, and they'd put it in a machine, that you turn by hand, and they'd add lemon juice and whatever else they put to it to make what they were going to do. And they made it with ice, crushed ice, and make it a slush.
Yeah.
And then they'd serve it.
And then they brought that over here.
They brought it over here.
Yep. They started in 1948, and they went from a 60-watt light bulb
to
how many employees?
We have 7, I think it is, full-time employees in just our place, along with probably about 10, 15 part-timers in the summer. Kids from
college kids,
college kids, and the kids that have been with us now. A lot of them have been with us 5 or 6, 7, 8 years. They go through high school, they go into college. This is a great summer job. Yeah. I mean, they do. They love it, and they meet people, and it's a great summer job.
And now, is this something now like the recipe? Is that something that's patented? How does that work? I'm not familiar with the
it is patented. Yep. It is a patented recipe, we keep it pretty. Much quiet. That's it.
How many people in the world know?
There's probably 4 or 5 people maximum that know what's going on.
4 or 5 people. And so when you guys travel, do you guys travel at the same time? Or?
We don't travel much together at all. No, at one point, Bruce and I did do some traveling together, and we caught holy heck from Bruce's father. So
Senior called in and said, "You guys
can't be upset.
You can't be on the same plane at the same time." That's amazing.
But So it's a thing where you enjoy it. As I said, I've been there since I was a kid, and I enjoy working, and I enjoy doing physical labor. I'm not a big sit around the desk person. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not a desk person. I like to work. Yeah. I'd like to be involved with the guys, loading the truck, unloading the truck, whatever it has to be done to keep things going.
It's a great product. I think you guys are a staple of Rhode Island. It's great to be able to have you come on here. So I appreciate your time very much.
We're more than glad to come out here. This is fantastic. You get advertising you can't pay for with, it's great. Everything is great. We like all this.
I advertise for you, without you guys even knowing it, because I always like to be right out there when Dells comes out. In fact, I'll probably leave after this and go get a Dells.
There you go.
Right down the street, but. So we're very familiar with it. So when I called in to talk to you, there's actually opportunities where you can open up your own franchise if you want. You want to tell us a little bit about that? Because I am curious.
Oh, boy.
So
you can go online and submit an application into Dells for opening of a franchise. Basically, right now, most of Rhode Island is sewed up. As far as, unless one of our franchisees was to decide that he had enough or she had enough, because we do have a couple of women in the Dells franchise, and they wanted to sell, then there would be opportunity, obviously, for somebody. But then we get a lot of people that call from different parts of the country that want to open a Dells, some of them, it happens, and sometimes it doesn't happen. We have this thing where we're not very push about selling.
Right.
If you want to do it, you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Once you've talked to us and you've gotten your particulars and everything, and you do your homework, your due diligence, your homework, all that stuff, and you still want to do it, you'll come and see us and you'll say, "I'm ready."
Yeah.
But we're not a car sales person that has to
push
go
it
out there.
No. If it's something that good, you don't have to sell it.
We don't have to sell it. It sells by itself. I mean, if you're calling us, you're interested in a franchise.
Now, what's the furthest out you guys go? What's the furthest franchise? Is that what you got to ask?
Yeah.
We have a small operation in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay.
We have another one in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach.
Oh, nice.
South Carolina.
You've been?
Yeah, we went once.
Yeah.
In fact, he's been in it now. This will be his 3rd year, but last year, obviously, with the COVID problem, they weren't open at all. They had nothing going on in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach area.
How did you guys do now, really kind of batting the hatches down with COVID?
To be honest with you, I think that last year we probably had one of the best years we ever had with the COVID virus going on.
Well,
are you kidding me?
Good for you guys.
Basically, I'm going to tell you that the reasoning being is that people were home. They didn't go away. They didn't do this and they didn't do that. So they said, well, we're not going to spend the money on a vacation. We're going to go and spend it on something else. So they come to Dells. All our Dells stores did phenomenal last year.
I would have never guessed.
And we lost a lot of business with fairs. We had no fairs.
Yeah, the beaches.
Shows, the beaches were happy. But whatever we did do, sales were really, really good.
God
Everybody
bless.
did well.
Good
So
for you guys.
we were happy. We did great.
That's
we
awesome.
had a great... and it's funny because you don't realize that. You know you've been busy a little bit, and I know we're off a little bit because making Dells, you know what you need to make and how much you need to make of it. And you know that we were down a little bit, but we also did a lot of sales because people were coming and buying quarts, half gallons, and gallons to take home for picnics and cookouts and all that stuff like it was going out of style.
Wow.
So we
That's
did well.
That's great.
We really did well.
I'm happy. Yeah, that's awesome.
So the COVID virus didn't hurt us, as much as some people might think that it's going to hurt you or something like that. But and all of our people stayed healthy.
Yeah.
Everybody we have health department rules and regulations that we have to follow like everybody else does that works with the public and everything, and wear your mask and do reports and all that, temperature testing and for the employees and that. And we have sanitizer out there like everybody else does for everybody, for everything. Yeah. So
I mean, it's pretty. There's a pretty good distance anyway when you're going to the truck and whatnot. So it seems like it works.
So this year the trucks will be out, the carts will go out, and it seems like there's going to be some fair opportunities going to be happening. We'll wait and see. They're talking that the Jazz Festival and the Folk Festival is going to go on.
Oh, nice. That's in August,
like
right?
A 6-day Jazz Festival or something, because they're going to give people limited amount of people to go to the Jazz Festival.
So instead of being 3 days.
Instead of being 2 or 3 days, it's going to be 6 days, supposedly is what they're talking about doing now, which could be, a good thing, because if you get a day of rain or two, you're not going to get burned. Plus you get, you get the people to that might want to try to go a second time because maybe they want to go to the show a second time or something like that. But there's a negative thing too, because 6 days you have more employees than you normally would have. But you know what? If you're making the money, you don't worry about how much it costs you. You pay your payroll, you do what you got to do. You're making it.
Well, Nathan knows that every time we see Adele's, I'm like, come on, Dells.
I think Jamie has a radar for Adele. She knows where they all are.
Oh, I know they are here. Well, in fact, the one down the street used to be on the end of the building. Prior to that, it was a dry cleaning company, so they'd have a window that they would hand it out. But then they transformed it to Adele's with a drive-through, and I just thought that was just.
We have a couple of stores with drive-throughs, and they work well if you have a good person at the window who likes to talk and say, what can I do for you today? What can I get you? And you say, I'll have a Dell's medium. And I say, well, would you like a bag of popcorn with that? Would you like to get a pretzel with that? Or some, so you do some type of other selling with the Dell, upsell with the Dells. So it's good, so it works out well.
Awesome.
People like that today. They like to just drive up and,
Yeah, well, I'm sure it would be good for COVID, but I have another question for you. Now, you don't need to tell us, obviously, if it's a secret, but is there a special type of lemon that you get or the company gets?
We try to buy sun-kissed lemons out of California.
Okay.
Huh. American-made lemonade.
Oh, yeah. No, well, we buy all American, but we try to buy lemons out of California. One of the reasonings being that California has a great lemon, good skin that we need to use because we use the skins on the lemon to put into the product. And also the thickness of the skin is very minute compared to some of the lemons that you get out of Arizona or Florida, where the skin is much thicker, so you get more skin and less juice. We want the juice, and we want good skin, so we want both. So California gives you that opportunity with their lemons, and you sometimes pay a little more, but something. That's why we have a good product.
Yeah, no, it's a great product.
I might use that in some of my lemon products that I make at home myself now.
Oh, the limoncello.
Yeah.
Now, you got to remember one thing about using lemon skins. When you put a lemon skins into a Dell's frozen lemonade, it takes about an hour for the lemon skin to do anything to the taste of the product. The oil from the lemon skin gets into the product and enhances the flavor a little bit more. So other than that, the lemon skin is in there for eye appeal.
Yeah.
But you're using fresh lemons.
Right.
It doesn't do anything unless you leave it in for like an hour or longer.
Now, do you guys, for people watching online, do you guys ship anything online? Can people purchase?
We have a website.
Dells.com?
Yep, we ship online. Yep, we do very well with a lot of that stuff. We have a lot of dry mix.
So I was going to ask, how does somebody get in California or something?
Yeah, we have a lot of dry mix that we sell in packets and in bigger size bags if they're like let's just say we get an small filter system attached to the faucet they use for making of the Dell's product, and then we have these 1 gallon plastic jugs that you mix the product in and then pour it into a machine.
Nice.
But at home, you can buy the little packets and you put it in a blender or a smoothie machine, and you need to use filtered water and filtered ice cubes. Because if you play around with water that's got chlorine or ice cubes with chlorine,
It kills it.
gives it a terrible taste.
Good, that's a good tip
I
for,
don't know.
Yeah.
cause,
So
yeah.
you use bottled water, yeah, like out of your refrigerator, you have filtered water.
Yeah, right,
okay?
right.
Now, if your ice cubes, the water's coming out, that means the ice cubes are filtered too.
Great.
So that means that's gonna be fine. But if you don't use filtered ice and you use bottled water, it's not
Messes-
gonna,
messes the
it's
whole
gonna
thing
mess
up.
up the taste.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good tip because I've seen the packets in like Stop and Shop, so that's great for you guys that you're in there. You have your product
Yeah,
there.
Yeah, the silver packets. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
and we're
awesome.
coming out with a couple of new packaging ideas on that. We have a gentleman that works for us, and he's an R&D and food beverage person. His name is Dimitri. And then we also have an assistant with Dimitri, Barry is his name, and they work together to come up with different ideas
Yeah.
for products and stuff like that, and along with our opinions also, of what we like to and all that. And so he comes up with all these, these plans or ideas, and some of them are great, and some of them we're not too happy about,
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about, like, I was thinking that when you were saying the pumpkin, Joe. So the pumpkin didn't do well. Well, no, you actually said it did do well.
It did okay.
But the light one, no, it wasn't light. What was it, sugar-free?
The sugar-free, we had, for some reason, we had a lot of people ask us to come up with a sugar-free product for diabetics.
Right, I can see that.
And Dimitri came up with a couple of good products, and lemon and watermelon, and we took them in the stores, and I brought it up to the Big E up in Springfield when we did the fair up there, and
Yeah.
I had it up there, and I think the mistake with the fairs is that people going to a fair ain't worried about a
Right.
day of diet. They're
Right,
worried
when they're
about eating all the
deep
fried
deep-
Oreos.
yeah,
fried butter.
I want a
Right.
Doughboy and I want a Dells. I don't want to hear about this
Yeah.
diabetic stuff today.
It's like getting a double
Yeah.
Whopper with
Yeah.
a Diet Coke. What are you doing?
Yeah, give me some fries too with that.
Joe, can you think back of any other flavors that just we had to retire that
Wacky
Bell's is-
stuff.
I know you said I would never guess pumpkin.
No, me neither. I
It's, pumpkin's not a big seller, but it did okay because we brought it out just for the fall.
Right.
That was it.
Okay,
And I think we'll probably bring it back again in the fall and just to see again, give it a couple of times to see how it's gonna go.
yeah.
I'm gonna.
We
try.
have had a lot of different flavors, believe me. Strawberry was a good flavor.
Yeah.
Grape was a good
Bring
flavor.
that back in. Great. Wow, great.
But,
Let's both back.
you got to try some different flavors, and right now we think we have some good flavors for home runs right now.
Yeah.
We're selling a respectably decent amount of grapefruit,
Yeah, that's surprising.
Grapefruit sounds
cherry,
delicious.
blueberry. We're selling a real good amount
like
of even blood orange and raspberry, believe it or not,
Yeah.
that are worth carrying, that are selling.
Yeah.
They're worth carrying.
Yeah.
But blood orange would bring it back to the Italian tradition, then wouldn't? Right?
Yeah.
So you
Is that where blood
yeah.
orange is it from?
Well, I'm not sure, but when I went to Italy, they made everything with the blood oranges. Yeah. So.
Well, awesome stuff, Joe. I appreciate your time. Joe Padula, and Vice President.
Executive.
Executive. I got to say it again there.
You got it.
Joe Padula, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you
We
very
appreciate
much
you
also.
coming by
Thank you.
and doing this, and I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dell's Lemonade, if you guys are ever interested in getting some, you can go to dells.com. They have a great shipping department. They'll ship it right out to you all over the world. Thank you very much for your time, guys. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Thank you very much.